Welcome to Paranormal Heart Podcast with host Kat Ward. Welcome, my friends, to Paranormal Heart Podcast. Tonight's segment is pre-recorded, streaming on United Public Radio Network 107.7 New Orleans and UFOParanormal Radio Network 105.3 the Gulf Coast. I'm your host, Kat Ward. Thanks so much for taking the time and tuning in and hanging out with us. A formal disclosure, Paranormal Heart Podcast is for entertainment purposes only. All information shared in this podcast is not professional advice, and the views and opinions expressed in Paranormal Heart Podcast are not necessarily those of the show host. I lost my train of thought. Network or producers. Paranormal Heart Podcast is always respectful and courteous to all involved. So I am excited. My special guest tonight is my UPRN sister, Kerrilynn Shellhorn. Kerrilynn is an internationally respected generational psychic medium, and as a mom of 4 sensitive kiddos, she saw the need to support families and children with intuitive gifts. Not only is Kerrilynn committed to helping her clients who are struggling with their grief and their gifts, but she also utilizes her connection to the other side of the the other side of the guide. Oh, good grief! To offer guidance for life directional management. I am so sorry. I've lost my train of thought. So Carrie, I'm just so excited to have her on. I just can't think. So Kerrilynn is based out of Guelph, Ontario, and on tonight's segment, she'll be discussing what I consider an important topic, and that's recognizing and helping psychic gifts. So please help me welcome Kerrilynn.
Hello.
I butchered that intro. Oh my God.
I love it. I do the same thing. My mind is going faster than my mouth can keep up.
Yes. Yeah.
And it is excitement, right? And I apologize to people ahead of time. I see it's like a squirrel on Red Bull. Just get ready.
I think you mentioned that when I was on your show. You're like squirrel on Red Bull, and I just, oh my God, that has to be your mascot.
It's and I think it is. It's excitement, and you're trying to, kind of 3 steps ahead where you're going to go next, and yeah.
And I want to put as much information quickly, so I'm not just dragging on the intro, but yeah.
I appreciate it. It's exciting to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. It's my honor. I'm so happy to have you. So for those who don't know who you are, and I'm sure there's not very many people out there, could you tell them a little bit about the show that you have and how it all started for you for the paranormal?
Sure. Thank you. So my name is Kerrilynn Shellhorn. I am originally from the Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario area, so Northern Ontario. I was born with these gifts. So I think my first conscious memory was around 5. I call it the farming commune. So like my grandparents had the original farmhouse and severed property from my parents to build the house that I grew up in. And I was seeing people in spirit at my grandparents' house when we moved in, so at age 5, and it just continued. It's not something that went away for me, not necessarily something that I think because of the tumultuous atmosphere that I was growing up in, not feeling safe to have a lot of conversations like that. So it wasn't until my later teens when I was still seeing people that were crossed over, and I started having children really early. So like 21, and all of my kids are having experiences. So really wanting to support them. So as far as my UPRN family and being part of UPRN, my show is called Spirit Switchboard, and it is Friday nights at 6 p.m. Eastern. And we kind of cover everything from conscious awareness to manifesting, paranormal, high strangeness, all the fun stuff. All the stuff that gets me excited.
And you have a great show. I just love it. And your infectious laugh. Oh my God.
Thank you. Thank you. That's what everybody, I hear that quite a bit, but when it's just your own, you don't think anything special is about it. It's just what it is. Yeah. Yep. That's kind of where I'm at.
Well, it's the type of laugh that, at least for me, if I could be in the foulest mood, but as soon as I see you and hear you laugh, I'm going to be in a good mood afterwards.
Thanks. I feel it's helpful especially in larger gallery events, because you're hitting some really heavy messages for people, right? You're hitting some raw places, and being able to interject some humor and laughter to help alleviate it and have a softer landing spot, as people are processing, because they're getting whammed with these messages. And then it takes 2 or 3 days to process all of it and integrate it. So having that sense of humor and laughter is very important.
I think it was 4th or 5th episode that I did was with my dear friend, John Mallard of Odd to Newfoundland. And John and I, all we did was laugh during the whole episode. It was amazing. And I was just new to the podcasting world. And I had a comment where the listener was really upset with us for laughing so much, because they said that the paranormal is too serious and humor and laughter has no place in it. And all I said was, thank you very much for taking the time to listen and to comment. Much love to you. I'm not going to start a fight,
No, and how sad. It's not saying that we're taking the paranormal, not taking it seriously. We are. At the same time, when people hold their breath, you are closing the door to the other side. You are slamming it shut because you are all tight, and when you breathe and relax, you kind of, especially laughter, you go into non-thinking mode, and it's easier for those messages and stuff to slip in. Like that's when they're going to connect with you. So it's faster to connect when you start laughing than it is. In fact, I'm teaching a course and an intuitive development. I haven't done an in-person intuitive development in so long. So there's a whole part about laughter in the handouts that I give to people.
Nice. I've found during investigating too that if everyone's in a good spirits, and we joke around, I find we have more results and more evidence that shows up, and your vibration changes, and the spirits sense that, and then they're just kind of drawn to that too. And I've been fortunate not to have really encountered anything too negative. Things that Michelle DeRoche, our dear friend, just tackle with not even blinking an eye. Those are instances that I don't want, and I think that's because of the humor that we bring to the table. Yes, there are serious times, but you can have humor with the paranormal.
Agreed. And we don't know what those spirit stories are. Like, they were living human beings who had a story. So if they had their own traumas, going in super serious and almost intimidating, they're not going to want to interact, right? So depending on what their stories are, I find going in with that sense of humor is helpful. We do have more response right away.
For sure, yeah.
And I'm like that even when I'm buying paranormal equipment. I know that I had showed you earlier that what I had just purchased as far as equipment, I'm like, if it makes me laugh, here's my money.
Here's my money.
Yes, here you go. Here you go. I don't need the snacks.
So for the audio, for the people who are listening to the show, you won't be able to see it, but for the video, can you show what you bought?
Oh, yeah.
And maybe describe it for those who can't see it.
So for our audio listeners, it looks like an ace of spades, almost like a deck of cards. That's a box, but the lid opens up and it's like a cigarette holder. So there's like a 3D printed sort of cigarette standing up on one. And once you hit the button, it's just like a sensor or proximity sensor. When you get up close, it lights. But the same tech guy is out of Kamloops, British Columbia.
Yeah.
And I purchased a Canadian whiskey bottle and a Budweiser beer can, both as trigger objects as well too. So now I've got like the beer, whiskey, and the cigarette.
Awesome.
Yeah, I know. It's so perfect, right? Like, depending on what your location is.
Yeah.
Way better than a Boo Buddy teddy bear. Like,
they're cute, but yeah.
Yeah.
So how did you get into wanting to help kids, and helping people identify when they have gifts?
So I have 4 children, and they're adults now. So age 31 to my baby who is 20, or almost 20. I'm 20 next month. That makes me feel
Oh, wow.
gross. And I have a granddaughter. So my granddaughter calls me Queenie, which is a whole lot of fun, and she'll be 5 in June. But my kids were having experiences as well too, and it just triggered a lot for me in remembering how awful it felt not feeling safe to talk to anybody about it. And so the more that I was doing sessions, the more I had parents coming who are also having kids who are sensitive. My kids are having their experiences, and I just felt it was a good conversation to have, and it has been a big part of my career. So this is my 18th year doing this full time, right? So
Yeah.
just wanting to support them, and my kids too. Like when I first, my youngest in particular, like wild experiences and in ways that I didn't necessarily have either. And I remember crying. And he's just turning 3, actually. He was turning 3 at the time. And I'm like, why did you choose me? Like, well, I don't know what to do with you. I've not had this experience. So I was having experiences, but not at the same depth as he was. So definitely wanting to hold space for him. And yeah, it just felt important. And what I learned too from doing this is most often the parents had their own experiences as kids, but same, where you have to numb it out in order to fit in, or parents or religion, culture, belief systems, kind of stuffed it out. And so you have these intuitive kids coming to these intuitive parents who have been sleepwalking and now have to remember who they are authentically, and remember what it was for them to have these experiences. And it becomes a more authentic, truthful to who you are naturally experience in creating your home as a sanctuary, right?
It always breaks my heart when I find out that, over the years, kids, as an adult, they have lots of anxiety and stress, and they think they're crazy because as a child, they had these psychic gifts, and the parents either didn't recognize it, or they had to put a kibosh on it for the same reasons that you just mentioned. And for a child to keep that inside all their lives, that's a trauma. That's not healthy.
Even if you are in that space, you can still have a kiddo that has that, because my oldest son had that experience. I walked in, he was 15 turning 16, and he was on the computer and he had tears streaming down his face. And when I asked him what was wrong, he's like, I think I have acute schizophrenia. And I went, I beg your pardon? It was like, I don't understand. Why do you feel that way? Right? Yeah. What is happening? And he said that he heard these voices. And I said, what were the voices asking you to do? And he said, they were telling me how they died. And I said, did they say anything else? And he said, yes, that they needed help. And I went, okay. I said, did it tell you to harm yourself, those voices? No. Did they ask you to harm other people? No. So explaining to him, this is in our family structure, and this is part of who you are, and you had these experiences when you were really little, and it makes sense now that you're in that hormonal change years where things are really ramping up for you, that you would have these experiences. And you don't have to be that person if you don't want to. You can say, go talk to my mom. My sister, who is I'm 54 this summer, she's 7 years younger than me. She still, when she has spirit show up at her space and trying to talk to her, she's like, go see my sister. I don't want to. Go talk to my sister.
Oh. La. Nope.
Exactly. I do feel though, that you can have some physical backlash from that. I think if you are trying to ignore it, it can create dis-ease and tension within your own physical body. So owning it and knowing how to either deflect it or gracefully send it somewhere else, then it helps you. But yeah, we had that experience with my oldest son.
Wow. I had a family member who we used to, before Facebook and all this social media, I think it was just called Messenger. You could play games on it and chat with people many years ago. And we used to chat a lot. And finally, one day he said, I think I'm going crazy. I'm like, well, why? And he liked his beer a little too much. And he says, I'm seeing ghosts. And I'm like, honey, it runs in the family. He didn't know.
Oh.
And he's like, really? Yeah. And once I told him, he kind of, it's like, oh, okay. So I'm not going crazy. Well, I wouldn't go that far. I said,
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it does. So I had a shaman from outside the Sault Ste. Marie area when I was kind of like coming out of the closet, right?
Mm.
I had my very first podcast that I had was a parenting radio show for parenting kids who were intuitive. So that was the first, kind of coming out of the closet. And the shaman said to me to be very mindful about alcohol, because the people who are sensitive and doing this work can have the tendency to become alcoholics and numb that if they are not learning how to process all of the feels physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually that go along with it, right? So having healthy tools to deal with it. And coming from long lines of alcoholics on both sides of the family, that was something that I really hung on to, that piece of advice.
So it's amazing how you took all of this, what's the word I'm looking for? Like negative feelings and everything, with the alcoholism, I can't pronounce it. And you made it into something positive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know how you feel about the other side, but that feels like a more truthful world to be stepping into most times, because even the alcoholics on the other side, they have a specific way of coming through, or anyone with addictions when they come through. They show me this certain thing, like they're a joker, teaser, friendly, outgoing, social kind of stuff. And I'm like, oh, I got your number. I know what we're getting into now, and it's a safe place. Show me all your shite, and then out it comes, right? So it's much more transparent and easy. And I said, people here make me more nervous than the people on the other side.
Isn't that funny?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I jokingly say sometimes I'd prefer going into a dark building to look for ghosts than to deal with some people.
Agreed.
Like it's a crazy world right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, agreed. And we don't, anyway, all of my kids had experiences at such a young age, and I just wanted them to feel safe and to trust their intuition, because the more that we hold space for them to have their own truthful experience, the more they'll trust their intuition. And then as they get older, they don't give their power away. They stay in their agency, autonomy. They trust themselves, right? And they don't give their power away where somebody else's opinion is bigger or stronger or more right than their own. They have confidence with decisions that they're making, and don't need that validation, where it's too easy to do a quick Google search to feel, to search for answers and feel validated. And the more they can trust internal, the less they give out. My soapbox rant. Sorry. But it's so important. I think it's so important.
So when a family reaches out to you and to ask for help with their kids, or if they only have the one child, can you walk us through how you start helping them up until you're finished?
So I don't know if we actually finished. Do you know?
Yeah, finish wasn't the right word I wanted to look for. But.
That's okay. I find people email asking if I do sessions with children. And that's usually the red flag, right? That there's something more going on. So we just ask if they can explain what's going on. And then we book a time where I can chat with both the kiddo and the parent at the same time, or their caregiver at the same time, just to ask what the experiences are. And again, it's about giving them the tools to feel comfortable and okay to claim their space back so that they feel empowered. And I find every once in a while I'll get another email or like this new thing, but for the most part, they feel confident and move forward in a good way, right?
Yeah.
But it's every case has been different, or every family has been different, depending on the type of experiences. And I think I've one that I can remember positively for sure, where there was just darker stuff where I called in Michelle. Because we all love Michelle DeRoche because she deals with all that stuff. and I'm not that I don't know how, I'm just not as confident because it's not on my, radar all the time, right?
Yep. Yeah, I like it. Just quickly want to mention how she told me one time she heard a growl or something like that in the mansion, or the house that she lived in before, and she was not having it. I think it woke her up, and she just said, "Not tonight," and it just kind of stopped. It's just wow.
I think any of us would stop in our tracks if Michelle said, "Not tonight."
Yeah, not tonight.
And yet she's got the biggest, softest heart. She is the most compassionate, loving, unconditional. Like, I just adore everything about her. And that's not sucking up. It's super truthful that, she just also knows what that line is, which has been a great, I don't know if you've learned from her. I have learned and inspired by her as well too,
She's an amazing lady. Really.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Love you, Chica.
Exactly. So I find a lot of times the kids are seeing people. They're scared to fall asleep at night. They are hearing people. So it's pretty consistent, most of those stories in what I'm seeing. And parents are not having the same experience and not knowing how to support them. So just giving them the tools.
How would you tell a parent to be able to recognize that their kids are experiencing these things? Like, is there what kind of tools do you give them?
Right. So I think it depends on age as well too, right?
Yeah.
So what is the age of these kiddos? And my first question is, if your kiddo has never proven themselves to be a liar, why would they be lying about this? And to be open-minded and allowing. And sometimes it is just, let's roll with it and see what happens. If it helps, then you just keep doing it, whether you're having the same experience as them or not. It doesn't matter, because that's their truthful experience.
Yeah. And
a lot of it is verbal, like Michelle, right? Where Michelle is saying, not tonight, helping kids walk through their space and saying, this is my space. You're not allowed to touch me. You're not allowed to talk to me. You're not allowed to wake me up. And then diving into their belief systems as well, too. So are there certain sigils or symbols or things that they can have in the space that represent protection? And energetic clearing as well too, and grounding. So grounding their energy and being able to discern the difference between their stuff, other people's stuff who are living, if they are empathic, and the spirits, because each is a different vibration. So working with them to understand those different things.
And it could be very difficult to distinguish which is which.
So everybody's going to get this. I say it all the time. I'm sure if you've heard this already, thank you for listening to me. Say it again. If you put your hand over your heart and take a deep breath in and do a long, slow breath out. So hand over your heart helps you move anything from your chihuahua brain up here down into your heart space, right? So I'm grateful. Gratitude was a big thing with the kids too. I would say to my kids when they would leave for school to thank their joy guides for the gifts that they were going to receive throughout the day, right? So let me, I don't know. Let me back up. Sorry, we're going to go scroll on Red Bull. So they're in the bathroom brushing their teeth, and I would put a little sticky note. There was a sticky note on the bathroom mirror with a stick figure, inside a bubble, inside a circle. So that was their visual cue that they needed to shields up, rubber bubble with slime. We're going to create our egg before we go out into the world from our house, where who knows what we're going to get. So nobody pulls energy off. Nobody can put energy on, that kind of stuff. At the end of the day, there was a sticky note by the door with a stick figure with like wavy little symbols on either side, and they had to shake it off. Play Taylor Swift and shake it off. Stomp your feet, wipe it off, give a wiggle, whatever feels right. If you're not able to have a salt bath or a shower at the end of the night, right? And then in the mornings too, before they left, to thank their joy guides for the gifts they would receive. And then at the end of the day, talking to them, like, what gifts did you receive today? And it made them focus on gratitude. Somebody shared their cookies, somebody held the door open, somebody gave them, so they're focusing on gratitude, and that made a big difference. And we would do like check-ins, anybody feeling stuff. So I had one kiddo that was very musically gifted and was invited to be part of a program similar to Glee. So he was recording, producing, all that kind of stuff, but away from home, hours and hours away from home. And my daughter would say, I think we need to check in. With Ryan. I'm like, okay. So we check in, we gave a call, and he's like, I've really been missing home. It's like she was able to tap in and knew that he was needing something. So just doing like check-ins and again, honoring. So it's like not high strangeness, not necessarily all ghosties or spirits either. It's just trusting your intuition in those understanding frequencies and vibration, especially with your immediate family, which helps you discern the difference with the people that are crossed over. So let's roll back. Wake up. Few things you're grateful for, hand over heart, take the deep breath in, and what does your spirit need today? And if you did that 2 weeks, even better is a month, but you will hear your intuitive voice answer your question before you're done asking it.
Oh, wow.
So then you just roll with it. Like, I need to laugh, or I need to go to the store, and you just kind of roll with it. And the more that you do that, the more you see the synchronicities, the louder and the more you trust your intuitive voice. And I push that on my kids quite a bit. Like my daughter in particular remembers, like I would ask her to put her hand over heart and take a deep breath in, standing at the corner of her space, like the doorway into her room, and ask her, what does it feel like to her? What does the space feel like to you? What do you think it needs? And she could be cheeky, and she's like, it needs new paint. I think maybe purple. And I'm like, we can do that if you think that's what your spirit needs, and that's okay. I said, but what do you think it needs before we can get to that point? She says it needs to be cleaned. I'm like, perfect. Like, it's helping them take accountability at the same time, so that we're not having to push our agenda on them either, or like we still parent, but I don't know. It really was helpful. I say that it was helpful, but as adults, my kids have also commented that the bulk of the world doesn't think that way. So they found it very frustrating to have conversations with other people who didn't trust their intuition and didn't know how to be open or transparent about how they were feeling about things.
It probably got frustrating to them too, because like, why aren't you doing this?
Yeah.
Wow.
Exactly.
So how do you cleanse a room, or whatever, cleanse whatever? What's your approach?
So we've tried all kinds of different things, because again, it's about giving, especially for the kids, an opportunity to try to see what feels right for them. Right. Yep. So we have smudged using cedar, sage, sweetgrass, just incense. We have walked through rooms with just a candle and filling it up with light. We have asked Archangel Michael to like stand over the space with a vacuum in reverse, suck it up. Yeah. We have Right. But what I did with that as well, too, is making sure that we poured light back in. Whatever we did, if we were cleaning it out, then we wanted to fill it up so that there was no like room for something to pop back in, you know,
Yeah.
like if we're going to empty it, we're going to fill it with something else. And salt, yeah. My one son really struggled when he was a teenager, so I used to put like this little thing of salt underneath his bed.
Yeah.
Like just soak that up. Yeah, and then dump it out. So salt is another one. And a spray. Like, again, it's just an energy clearing spray. I didn't make it.
Okay. Do you know what's in it?
I just know that I trust my friend, and I'm like, here's my money. Stay with this. Thank you.
Take my money. Take my money.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you said you use a candle, when you said you use a candle, do you use any particular color or just whatever feels right at the time?
So here's the thing with that. I am probably the worst person in the world to ask those kind of questions because I think it's all about intention. And I know that stresses a lot of people out that you have to have this crystal and you have to have this. And I'm like, I don't know. I sit in my space and I imagine the biggest freaking clear quartz crystal underneath my house beaming up from underneath right through and out. I don't have a big crystal underneath my house, but I'm going to set the intention and I envision it so it is. Yep. So candles, whatever I got on hand. If it's a birthday candle and it's pink, I got craft paint. We're going to paint it another color if we need to. Yeah. It just, I don't know. I think our intention is bigger than what it is, you know? Like if you have a white candle, let it be the white candle. If you think it's supposed to be pink and you're negating the intention, then it's going to go sideways. So doing what feels right for you with what you have.
I also firmly believe that items help you to visualize. And if you believe that a fork is going to help you visualize and manifest things, that fork is going to work, you know.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And it helps stay out of the chihuahua brain. Right? Yeah. Like people get all wigged out about witchy stuff or doing spells. But honestly, if you are caught up in the overthinking by doing something, even if it's creating a salt bowl, like if it's cloves and bay leaves and pretty salt and some crystals that you just all put together, you have this focus that where the energy is going instead. So you have that intention, which is good, right?
Yeah, exactly. Oh. Little puppy.
Yes, Nora. She's a Chihuahua pug, and so I need to maybe not keep saying the Chihuahua brain so much. Maybe she's going to get a complex.
It's like, really, Mom?
Yeah, I think so.
That's funny.
Here, Nora.
There we go. That's cute. So do you because you have 2 dogs, right?
I do have 2 dogs, and they're both 4 years old. So I got them 4 months apart from each other during our first lockdown.
Yeah. Wow. 4s. That's funny. 4 months apart, and they're both 4.
Yep. Yeah. Well, they'll be 5. I guess 5 this year.
Okay. Yeah. That's neat.
Yeah.
Are they sensitive? Do they sense if there's anything around?
Or
have you noticed?
I would say Nora more than Bruce. So Nora is the Chihuahua pug. Bruce is a Bulldog Shar-Pei. She has, her hackles have gone up and she has growled at things that I'm not seeing. So then I just go around and clear. Whatever's here needs to go.
Yep.
If I forgot to send you on after a session, I'm sorry.
Yeah. That's happened. I take it.
Yeah, not often, but I have, right? Just normally I'm pretty good about that. Thank you for allowing me to do this for you, to both the client and the people in spirit, right? Yep. And sometimes at the end of a very long day, if I'm extra tired and things go sideways quickly, like where's dinner? Yeah. then that happens. But yeah, definitely sensitive. If we're talking about kiddos as well too, a lot of times, so my youngest, we have pictures of him with his arm like this. So I'm putting my, for our audio listeners, I'm putting my forearm up against my eyes so I can't see. And he started doing that just under 6 months. And then he did it for a long time, like till over 2. And it's because he was seeing spirits. And he would do that and until he had the words, right? Until he had the words. I think more with him and my daughter, who's like the next youngest. They're almost 8 years apart, actually, though. We had like a safety word, like a spirit safety word.
Okay.
So if we were out and about, it's like the stranger danger word. Remember? I don't know if they do that anymore, but if we were out and about, it made him feel better. Instead of like putting his arm up and going into complete shutdown, we would have a word, and then I knew that they were seeing or experiencing something that I had to pull them out of the space. Can we deal with this here? Do we need to leave? And they always knew that I would respond to them. And they never took advantage of it. Like they never played it. And you can tell the difference between when they're playing you and when they are having a truthful experience.
Yeah. I wish I would have thought of that with my kids, with a word.
Ours was banana split.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
It's all about food.
Yeah. Banana split, Mom.
Yeah, banana split. Yeah. And it was very helpful. It was helpful for them. And for me too, right? It's about frequency and vibration. The more that we can help them understand a vibe to a room or a vibe to people, the more they feel in control or can use that discernment, right? In what feels right. And it starts young, like when we, as parents, if we are physically demonstrative, we're giving them a bath, we're washing their hair, we're brushing their hair, we're massaging their, lotion into their little feet and their sunscreen, and we're in their energetic space. So when we're tired and we're in that half awake, half asleep space, and we know somebody's in our space by their vibe, like we just know kind of which kid it is. So we're giving them the same understanding. Right. And
definitely.
Yeah. Being able to just do that discernment and that pause and checking in and being okay when they dish it back at us. Like my daughter, again, she was like the ringleader in all of it, because I think she's the only girl, right? 3 boys and 1 girl.
Oh, yeah.
She would say, Mom, your energy feels a little off. You should probably leave the room till you feel better.
Oh, really?
I know. But she was right. She was right. It was spreading like a cancer, that energy. So, you leave and do what you need to do and then come back. And we had that, like, I would invite them to the peace corner and it would have like, chill out stuff.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean we didn't have ups and downs. We certainly did, but there was more understanding about,
I think that gives the kids confidence too, in knowing that they have abilities and Mom is being supportive, and it's okay to have these abilities.
Yes. Yeah. And that it doesn't have to be their job either. Like understanding that it's making them feel empowered in their choices for life and whatever direction they're wanting to go. It doesn't have to be that they're going to hang a shingle on their door and do sessions for people. It's the right job, right time, right place, right teacher, right partner.
Yeah, definitely.
What does it feel like when I avoid red flags? So I don't want to do that again. It just helps them. So the sooner we can start. And I found it really pushed me to take ownership of my own personal healing so that I knew how to support them as well too, because it would certainly trigger pieces in me that weren't healed, right?
Oh, yeah.
And feeling not worthy, not lovable, all of this, not a good mom, any of those things, and really pushing me to take ownership. So I think it helps. That's all I could think of too, was the things that I was exposed to as a kid, not wanting my kids, and then swinging the other way where I'm creating a whole other ball of stuff to deal with for them to have to deal with later, because I went the extreme opposite. So how can we stop that pattern happening completely in a healthy way for all of us?
I didn't go ahead.
No, that's okay.
No, I was just going to say both my kids are sensitives. One of them embraces it, the other doesn't. It doesn't want to have anything to do with it. But I didn't even think that, because I'm sensitive. I don't call myself psychic because it's not anything that I've worked on to be able to bring it forth whenever I want. I just know things. It just happens. But right. I never thought maybe my kids would have it until I started noticing. And it's like, oh, okay. They talk about, the wolf in their closet. Could you please keep the closet closed? And it's like, oh, okay. And are there ghosts, Mom? And at first I didn't want to say yes because I didn't want to scare them. And so all I would do is, well, what do you think? Like, what are you seeing? And after they got older, they're like, okay, Mom, I want to know, do you believe in ghosts? Like, yeah, I do. There are ghosts, But I used to go in there and tell them, leave the kids alone.
Yeah, not allowed in my space. No. And I used to tell them, you can say that Archangel Michael's going to haul their arse out if they don't leave you alone.
Yeah.
I know that, and I did use the word arse. I was that mom. I was definitely that mom. I think too, because we are all vibrating at different frequencies, we're going to have different experiences, right? So even for my kids, they would see people in spirit when I wasn't seeing people in spirit. So to try to discern who they were seeing, I would lay out photos of family members at different ages, at different weight stages, facial hair, not facial hair, and help them discern or be able to validate was it family, not family, and ask questions like that. Like, you saw a man, were they as tall as Daddy, or were they tall like Grandpa Bill, or whatever, just asking the different questions without giving them the answers, just to see where they go. But
just to guide them.
Yeah. My kids used to say all kinds of stuff that I didn't have those experiences. So I'm going to see if my baby kiddo can open the door and let Nora out so she doesn't keep going on us.
That's okay.
But past life stuff would come up. My kids talked about what heaven looked like, which was wild to me when that came up. Remembering me as the other mom, and that I looked different when I was the mom last time. Like, they said stuff like that, and they were like 3 and 4. And what
was your reaction?
Well, I always asked if I was taller. Was I a taller mom then? I hope I was a taller mom then. I hope I was a more confident mom at the beginning, like, I don't know.
That's awesome.
Because too, we have our own personalities, and I've never dived into past life stuff. I do have folks, if you do listen to Spirit Switchboard coming up in the next few weeks, I do have somebody coming on to talk about past lives, and that's a whole, I don't know why it's uncomfortable to me, but I just assume that I've been all of it. Good, bad, not bad, male, female, tall, short, overweight, thin. I think I've been all of it. Nasty, good. So I've never dived in.
Yeah.
But
that's something I've never looked into either. And I'm kind of interested, but I'm kind of not at the same time. I don't know what holds me back.
So I'm ready, I think now, but only because I want to know what the UFO, owl, and alien stuff is all about.
Yes.
Because I know that it is a thing, and I know that there's a block. And I did do this crystal session with an energy healer locally about 18 years ago when I was on that path. Okay, I'm going to take ownership of my stuff, right?
Yep.
And all kinds of weird past life images came up like a movie, boom, boom, boom. And I understood why I'm doing the work that I'm doing. I understood why I had my kids. So I've never felt, it wasn't a past life session, but it came up during that particular session. So I've never felt the need to dive into it. But then I've had my kids tell me things.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I don't know.
It fascinates me whenever you hear of kids telling their parents, oh, I know who killed me in the last life, and I can show you where I'm buried. I think that has not happened to me with my kids, but I don't know how I would react to that. I mean, especially if a parent is not into the paranormal, if they don't have any abilities, and their child all of a sudden says that, it's just like, how do you react?
Yeah. So in my brain, as soon as you said that, the first question that popped into my head as you were talking was, is there anything that you need to help you be okay in this lifetime? Is there anything that you feel like you need to do in this lifetime? I don't know. But I did that for my kids when they were younger as well too. Did this little prayer over them saying that anything that they've brought forward from a past lifetime that's no longer serving their highest good for their path and purpose in this lifetime, they didn't have to carry it forward, that they could let it go with love and let it go to light, and asking them if they're to call back their energy, or assisting them in calling back any energy that they've left in a past lifetime or dimension or alternate reality or wherever. Let's just blanket it and make sure we're covering all bases and sources.
Yeah. Wow, I never even thought of doing that either. Good grief. Now I feel like a horrible mom. No, I'm kidding. Clear,
cancel, delete.
I love that.
Yeah.
Wow. So have you ever had a parent approach you and tell you that their child said something like that?
I've not personally. Well, no, I have not. I did a message circle once. So it was a private event. Please do not email me asking, because I haven't done them in years. I do not have time on my schedule to do them. So please don't email me asking. But I did a message circle once. And in that message circle, when I came to this one particular lady, I had never experienced it even during a session. And there was a switch out, or souls tapping in and out, where it actually was a mom coming through in the grandchild. Like, I have not really had that kind of, it was just weird, but that was sort of what it was. The grandbaby, or like the woman in spirit, tapped in because she had left early, and the baby was having a medical health crisis and was going to pass away. And so that spirit tapped out, that mom that was in spirit tapped in. And again, it was a big learning curve for me, because I normally would poo-poo that, because I've just not had that experience and didn't think that was possible. So those sort of experiences opened me up to the idea that anything is possible. I don't know anything.
Wow.
I know. Yeah, that was weird, but I've not had that experience. I've had stuff more like with my kids' dad. So my two older boys are 15 months apart, and I think they were 3 and 4 at the time. And my oldest said that I didn't have to be sad. I didn't have to be sad if he died, because he was going to go back to be with heaven. And I've never taken them to church. I didn't talk about God. There was that just part of our life. And he said, you don't need to worry, because I'll just go back to be with God. And I'm like, how do you know about God? And he said, because Ryan and I were friends in heaven, and we chose you to be our mom so that we could help you learn patience.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty heavy.
Have I learned it? Are we not yet? I don't think it was. It wasn't for a long time, actually, with him learning patience. But
And how old again was he when he said that?
4 and 3. He was 4.
Wow.
Ryan was
Yeah.
3. Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. And
Mm.
like, how would a child that age know to say something like that? Like, yeah.
How would they, right? And it's that remembering. I think they remember being in spirit because they've not had this little lifetime here, and that their soul is older and wiser and bigger than these little tiny meat suits that they're wearing as children, right? Like how,
Yeah.
and that I think was the learning curve for me too, in how I spoke to them, because it must be super frustrating for them. How frustrating for them to have these big concepts and things and be stuck in this little body that's not capable of doing all the things that they know that they're capable of doing, right?
Yeah.
There's a great book if you guys want to like grab your pen and a piece of paper and write it down. Child of Mine Know This by Rebecca White Cotton. And Neil Donald Walsh, if you guys, anybody is a lover of Neil Donald Walsh, he wrote Conversations with God. He did the foreword in that book for her. And you can double-side tape pictures of your children into it, so it really personalizes it as well too. And I just love it. I love it because it talks about how we make contracts with each other before we are born. We forget the promises that we've made, but the promises that our children give to us as a soul to help us remember who we are and hold us accountable, and promises that we've made them, right? And yeah, I read it at every spiritual parenting class that I've ever taught. I read that at the beginning of the class. So I think, how does it start? Oh, child of mine, know this: in the eyes of God and the eyes of all that is, you are a blessing to the world. That's how it starts. Isn't that beautiful?
It is beautiful. Wow.
Yeah, it's lovely. I think if you go onto her website, you can read the PDF part. Like you can read it, the PDF for free.
Sample or whatever. Oh, okay. I gotcha. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
When you were saying that your son said that there were friends and that they chose you, I could just, for whatever reason, this popped into my head, these two spirits, almost holding kind of like an iPad, but it's a hologram, and they're swiping, looking for the mom. Oh, that's gonna be that's the one.
Yeah. I don't know how that works. The swipe left and right.
I don't know either. Yeah,
it chose me.
That's what popped into my head.
I used to hold that on them as well too, right? You chose me. How you liking that now?
Oh, wow.
How's that feeling on you now?
Yeah.
Right? Or we used to, again, my daughter's beautiful, and she is probably my closest friend, right? I adore her. She'll be 28 this summer, so she's a young woman. She's not a child really, and teen years are hard, especially with girls around that age 15. And saying to her, like, we're going to do some cord cutting because you are not my mom. You're not your sibling's mother. You are not mom in this. So we're going to do some energetic cord cutting because is this my responsibility or this is your responsibility? Is this, again, that accountability stuff? Yeah. Energetic cord cutting was a big part of for all of us too, when they were growing up, and releasing stuff that wasn't our burden, and past life or wherever, right? It was super helpful. I can't stress enough. Energetic cord cutting is important.
Definitely. Yeah. I have no idea how to do it.
I'll tell you. I'll help you. I'll help you all figure it out. Essentially, it's intention, folks. And I think people don't do it because they're worried about not sounding pretty. But you could be snotty, ugly crying in your car because you've had a bad day and just go, I don't know what I need to cord cut, but I'm giving you permission to intervene and thank you very much. Like, that's it. Like, it's really just giving them permission to step in. But I think looking at what emotions you're feeling, and then it helps you, and where you're feeling it in your body, because it's letting you know where you're storing that in your body. Gotcha. And then looking at what that discomfort represents. right? Does it represent pushing down emotions? Like if you got a lot of gut stuff, is it pushing down emotions? If it's in your lungs, not feeling like you can take up space, not feeling you can breathe in life, or you're worthy of deserving of joy, like Google searching, I guess that. But the more you do it, the lighter you feel immediately, and there's a release.
That's amazing. It really is.
Sorry, I feel like I've soapboxed a lot tonight, folks. I'm really sorry.
It's fine.
Yeah.
So we have a few minutes left. Do you have any final words that you would like to tell the audience? And of course, tell them where they can find you.
So KerrilynShellhorn.com. I would love for people to sign up to the newsletter, follow the newsletter. You can find Spirit Switchboard, the podcast, on YouTube. I would love for folks to please subscribe and follow. That would be awesome. And it's just Kerrilynn Shellhorn. I think it's the original Kerrilynn Shellhorn on Instagram. I don't know. I've got one of those Linktree things.
I think it is, yeah.
Yeah, if you follow Linktree, it's all there.
Has everything there, yeah.
I would encourage whoever you are, to anyone that's younger. If you are a caregiver, a grandparent, a parent, aunt, whatever role that you are, to be open-minded that kiddo is on a higher level teaching you something about yourself, that you are not always the smarter or the wiser, that there is something for you to learn in those experiences, and that it can be life altering when you figure out what that is that you're learning from them.
Definitely. Yeah. And listen to your kids.
Yeah. Truly listen.
Yeah. Because I find a lot of people, a lot of parents, and I've witnessed it, out shopping, whatever, they just don't listen to their kids.
How much time do we have, Kat?
3 minutes.
Okay, I got a quick story about that.
Yeah.
So you're at Walmart and you hear the kids that are screaming and crying and you get irritated, right? So here's the thing. Most of the kids are extra sensitive. And I had this story, so please do not be mad at me. But if you do get mad, folks, it's kerrilynn.shellhorn@gmail.com. You can send me an email. I used to say that it was, this is such a bad word too. Sorry, folks. I'm apologizing. Stupid. So it was like a government experiment, and they were blowing stupid gas at people between the doors as you were entering Walmart, just to watch everybody fall apart when they got inside. But it's not really. What it is if you are energetically sensitive, you are stepping into a place that focuses on lack. So they focus on lack. So we're going to roll back to save you money. This is where, so everybody that is going is already hypersensitive and aware. There are number crunching, worrying about their budget. Do they have enough money? They got only 5 minutes to get in and out, and they hope that their stuff's on sale, like that whirly, chaotic energy. Then you take these kids who are extra sensitive, who act up, and all they want is out of that environment. And then you take the kids out, and then they're peachy keen and happy as a clam, right? Because you've taken them out of the space. So the more you take ownership. Gavin, my youngest, was the best. He would do this in the car. So if you are an audio listener, I'm going to raise my arms up above my head, and almost like a prayer above my head. He would go like this. Shields up, and we're going to ground. And then he would bring his hands down so that they were pointing down. And I never taught him that. He just started doing that on his own. I'm telling you, my kids were something else, like very intuitive, very connected, and very much my teachers in pushing me to take ownership so I could help other people, right? But he would ground my energy. And then he'd be happy, and we'd go, okay, thank you very much, Joy Guides, for letting us get in and out as quickly as possible. The stuff on sale and nobody in the checkout when we go to pay. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
That was how we shopped.
Wow. That's amazing. How he just knew that.
Yeah. Wild, right? That's why I said I had moments of crying, like, what the heck were you choosing me for? But I'm glad that you did.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. Yeah. Well, thank you so very much for being here. I really enjoyed this. I just love talking to you.
Thank you. I saw the professor that's going to be in Toronto with the Egypt seminar. I keep thinking about you every time it rolls up. Yeah, every time it rolls up on my feed, I'm like, oh, I wish we were going.
I do too. I've met him once, and it was amazing. I saw the King Tut exhibit. It was it was a dream come true. And I really wish that it was in my pocketbook right now that I could go see him. But the tickets are a lot of money.
Yeah.
Tickets are a lot. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, well, we'll get together at some point.
Definitely. Thank you so very much. Hang tight. I'm just going to say goodbye to the audience, and we can chat for a couple minutes if you have the time.
I do.
Much love to you. Take care.
Take care.
Well, folks, thank you to my special guest tonight and UPRN 107.7 New Orleans and 105.3 the Gulf Coast. Remember, if you enjoyed the show, please support us by liking, subscribing, sharing, and commenting. And another way to help support the show is by grabbing some swag. If you'd like to pick up your very own Paranormal Heart podcast mug, just drop me an email at paranormalheart@gmail.com. Until next time, take care.